Hey everybody, welcome to the Mark Hope Show. We are coming at you at the October 14th show, and we got an empty studio, and I am adjusting my monitor here. We are going to have a great show tonight. We have got several different things going on with you tonight. We're going to have a guest on, Pat and Kim from the Texas Canine University. Texas Canine University. And they're going to tell us all about the dog business.
Okay, all right. Let's see if we can't get started here.
I'd like to thank our sponsors for the show, Action Computers, MarketingHope.com, Wall to Wall Renovations, Metamorphosis Fitness, and India's Best Restaurant and Bar and Grill in Littleton, Mark Jackson Endorsements, one of the three amigos, and All Around Auto Care. Really appreciate you guys being involved in the show, and happy to have you as part of the sponsorship of the program. And as you know, we want to talk about your small business and what you're doing and the marketing that you're getting done for your business. And just generally everything about the small business space. And a lot of times we're talking about people that are working a job or they're doing their side gig. And Daniel, when you get a second, could you put my screen up?
Let me take a look here. What's going on?
I got no chat. The small business space. That's feeding back through my mic. A lot of times we're talking about people that are working a job or they're doing their side gig, and
we need to mute that.
Daniel, when you get a second, could you put my... Yeah, it's never-ending technical difficulties. Rebecca Kelly is watching. How about that? Jay Titman joined in. I love that guy. He's a small business guy. Just give me a chance. We're working on my screen here.
You need to get something to cover that. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't shrink it. You can't. That part won't do it.
Oh, it just keeps shutting it off.
I'll try and redo it, but it.
That's all right. That's all right. So you want to go ahead and get the Texas folks on board?
Yes.
And Pedro Mori, two of his favorite people.
Okay, we are going to call those guys now, and there we go. Should be getting them any second. Oh, that's nice.
That's a little loud.
That's a little loud.
Hey, hey.
Have we got you?
Yeah. How you doing? You hear us?
Yes, Pat, we can hear you.
Excellent, excellent.
So we've got Miss Luann downstairs, and she is monitoring the channel. So we just want to make sure that everybody can hear everybody else. James Stevens coming in from Idaho Springs. Isn't that where he's from, Daniel?
Yes.
Miss Jackie Lovato Renfro. You know, actually, her daughter is involved in some marketing activities as well. So, guys, welcome to the show. Do you want to introduce yourselves a little bit and kind of tell everybody about what you've got going on there in Texas, and then we can kind of lead into your story?
Sure. My name's Kim Cerio, and I am the head trainer and co-owner and founder of Texas Canine University here in Springtown, Texas. We started the company back in 2016, September of 2016. and have been going strong since then.
Now, just for
Okay.
everybody that's listening, you guys have had a passionate interest in dogs and dog training for going back 20 years, longer.
Yeah, so I actually trained my first dog in 1985-ish. It was a family pet, and my little golden retriever, her name was Mandy. And the family joke is I actually failed my first obedience class with her. And that kind of gave me the spark to really learn more about dog training and become more proficient at my passion. I literally used to go knock on my neighbors' doors and ask them if I could please train their dogs. And of course, most of them were pretty happy to allow me to do so.
One of the things that I love to do on the show is I love to know who my guests are, and I've known you guys for lots of years, and I like to be able to personally endorse the guests that I have on the show, and I do that wholeheartedly with you guys. But because I have that knowledge of my show guests and the people that I endorse it with the management and marketing company that I run, I have stories about people, and I always like to be able to kind of put you guys on the spot during the show a little bit. And so I'll start off with asking you a question about the freezer. Do you guys want to tell anybody about the freezer?
The last person that asked a question about the freezer ended up in it. So, but
luckily, I'm in Colorado, so I feel semi-safe for now, being able to ask about the freezer.
Have guns will travel. That's okay. No far out of reach. Not too far.
All right. So the freezer. So we have been active in search and rescue for many years, and I handle a human remains detection dog. His name is Cooper. He's a German Shepherd, and so to become proficient at what you're doing, and what we were doing was finding decomposing human remains. And so we have to have training aids. And so in the freezer, there are training aids. We'll just put it like that.
And that was just like somebody's finger was in there or something, right?
There could possibly be a pair of legs.
Possibly. Allegedly.
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 So it's been
So, and that kind of speaks to the scope of really what you guys do at the university. I mean, it's a pretty wide berth of things that you guys do, from finding and rescuing hikers and people, from a part of their clothing to, training police and military dogs to do their jobs as far as drug sniffing and bomb dogs, that kind of thing, to family pets.
Yes, absolutely. We literally train from pets to police, and giving credit where credit is due, Pat came up with that slogan, and it absolutely fits us perfectly. We can be, in our kennel right now, we literally have everything from, the cute little poodle that just needs to learn basic manners and basic obedience to explosive detection dogs.
Which, to me is fascinating, because even if there's just folks that need their dog boarded and you want to go through some obedience classes, I mean, you really are offering a lot higher level of training expertise. And I know you guys are humble enough to where I just kind of have to say it for you, but you guys are really the go-to ones that, if somebody goes in for just a regular dog training class, they're getting a lot more with you guys.
Right, absolutely. Right, absolutely. And this is Pat Cerio, by the way. I'm the Director of Operations here at Texas Canine University, and I'm Kim's support staff, basically. And I do a puppy training and do pretty much everything that needs to be done here. But the way we see it is everybody's got a guy. I need an electrician. I need electric work done. Hey, I got a guy. Hey, something's wrong with my car. Hey, I got a guy. Anything that has to do with your dog, boarding, training, any questions, you got a guy. We want to be your guy. That's it. And it's not just in Texas. It's across the country. We have clients from coast to coast. Mark, you and Luann have been clients, with Bella, she's a fantastic dog. We have
Absolutely.
We have clients in Chicago. We do search services for people that are looking for a specific breed, for maybe a specific job, or just for a pet. Like, hey, I have to have a black lab. All right, great. We'll get our network going. We'll reach out to our people, and we will find you the best black lab that we can find that fits your needs. So it's not just Texas. We're coast to coast. We have a very, very extensive network. We have great people that we work with across the country, and we're very happy to share that expertise and that knowledge with our clients and with you all.
And is it the kind of thing where people could do a Facebook Live video and buy an hour of your guys' time and say, hey, look, Rover is doing this, that, or the other thing, and you could kind of do some online coaching as well for the folks that aren't in Texas?
We do, yes. So with our clients that we have all over the country, we'll do either FaceTime lessons or video submission lessons where I'll have clients video the training that they're doing. They'll send it to me, and then we'll talk about it, critique it, and figure out the best way to fix any issues they're having, or just give them the thumbs up that they're doing a great job with continuing in the training that they started with us.
And that's a big thing.
It is. When people, we're so huge on customer service. When people come here, they then have us as a resource forever and ever. If they have questions about anything, I have, again, clients all over the country that may work different times during the day that I always encourage text, call, email, whenever you guys need something. We can address problems or issues as they're happening, or address needs as they're happening, so we can manage those situations so they don't become, bigger issues or anything like that.
One of the listeners is asking if you guys are hiring.
Interesting you should say that. We are. Business has been fantastic. We just came off our best month ever. And we're expanding, and we've got a couple things cooking, as you know, Mark.
I do know.
We've been discussing that. We're looking into a few things. How do we make that work? What's our liability? What do we have to do? What's our responsibility? And we're getting close to that point right now where we need to look to the future. The future is now. If we ignore it, the problem's not going to go away. It's not actually a problem, but that issue is not going to go away. And when we need to address it, it's too late. So now we're on the cutting edge of that. We're discussing it now. We're looking at a few things, and we're happy to look at anybody's resume if they want to submit it, or give us a phone call, and we can talk about it, and then see what.
And that really is a great opportunity for somebody that wants to break into this field, correct?
Yeah,
you guys
absolutely.
provide training as they're on the job. There's training, and they really get to actually work with all of the animals and be kind of directed and mentored along, right?
Right. Absolutely. We look at it as kind of an internship. Throughout my my law enforcement career, I'm retired law enforcement, but throughout my career, I was kind of, took the approach that if I'm not training somebody to do my job, then I'm not doing it right.
Correct.
You got to train the guy, that's coming up to do your job. And I've been very fortunate, guys that have passed me up, and they're big bosses now, and I'm very happy that it gives me some satisfaction. So in this case, same thing. That internship, we have this knowledge that we have gained over the years, and different dogs and different things that we've been into, that now it's kind of our responsibility, the way I see it, is to impart that knowledge and to bring somebody up, to give them that knowledge, to get them up so they can do the same thing, and even surpass us and go and do bigger and better things on down the line. And that's absolutely
they actually graduate. It's not just dogs that graduate from the university. It's everybody. Like somebody might go work for the FBI or some higher level calling with a dog handler that started off with you guys.
Right, and the way you get that is from the number of dogs that you see and train and handle. Now, Kim has seen, thousands of dogs more than I have, so she has that base to draw from. It's just, just like a mechanic. I know you use the car analogy all the time on your show.
I do.
Mechanic's going to see, all these cars, and over time, he gains that experience. You can pull in and then, oh, my car's making a noise. He can listen to it and tell you exactly, oh, that's what's happening with that car. I know what's going on with that car. I can fix it, no problem. It's the same thing. You have that base of knowledge working these dogs and handling these dogs. So anybody builds that base, they can go on and do anything. They can go train bomb dogs for the TSA. They can go handle a dog for a police department. They can open up their own training and boarding facility if they want. They can do any number of things.
Or they could also go start a secret business like the one that I'm going to start with you guys.
That they could do that also. Yeah, they could.
Super secret
Yes,
business.
they could.
And the thing with dogs,
And that really is a huge concept too. I mean, I'm not fooling around. We're going to do a business that you guys will not believe, in conjunction with Canine University, that's going to be over the top for people that own real estate. So we'll just tease that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. Up and coming. Stay tuned. Future show.
James Stevens asked about special needs dogs. Can you guys help with special needs dogs?
Yeah. So, as far as special needs goes, I'm assuming he's talking about the dogs themselves.
Yes.
So we actually do a lot of special needs dogs here. I'm currently training a blind and deaf dog to do what's a sport called nose work. And so nose work is kind of the civilian end of doing odor detection work, where you find different, there's 4 to 5 different essential oils that the dogs can find, and there's competitions that do this. So I had a lady, a client not too long ago, about 6 months ago, contact me and said, hey, I have this dog that I rescued. She does a lot of fostering with shelter animals, and the dog is blind and deaf. Can we train it to, do nose work? And I said, well, I've trained deaf dogs. I've trained a lot of deaf dogs. I've never trained a blind and deaf dog, nor have I ever trained a blind and deaf dog to do odor work. But we are fixing to do our first competition in November. So we train them. I have another client currently that we're working with that actually, when the dog came here for an evaluation, we found out the dog was deaf. I had her confirm that through her vet, which they did. And so that's been awesome. We also deal with a lot of boarding for elderly dogs. Like we actually just put out a little commercial on our YouTube channel and our Facebook that Pat that Pat did with Roxy, and Roxy is a 16-year-old blind and deaf dachshund.
And she's
so
cute.
She was a fun little dog to have. She's adorable. What a wonderful dog, and her pet parents are just amazing people as well. So we do a lot of special needs dogs here, and we love them. It's always, whether it's boarding or training, it's a fun challenge to have, and we are absolutely set up to handle any and all of those type of dogs.
And I know this is something that you guys do, and I really love this whole program. If somebody is really have a challenging situation with a dog, and say that they're going on a long vacation, this is mainly for the Texas folks and the people in Oklahoma that are within driving distance of the mothership over there at the university. But if they're having a challenging situation with a dog, while they're getting them boarded, they can go through a comprehensive boot camp with the dog, right? So that you guys will train
Correct,
the dog
yes.
while they're on vacation. And when they get back, not only have they had a great vacation and their dog was well protected and cared for, but they're trained, like the first level of training.
Correct.
So every time you go on vacation, your dog gets better.
Absolutely. And we have a lot of clients after their dogs are initially trained here. When they do go on vacation, we can kind of a la carte the training as far as, we want 4 days of training. So because we've already trained the dog and know the dog very well, we can do basically some tune-up training or some touch-up training on maybe some issues that they're having with the dog currently.
But I know that you guys have saved dogs from getting given away. I mean, families get frustrated and they're like, oh, I can't take this dog. She's chewing everything up, or, peeing in the house, and we're at our wits' end. And then you guys take them, and then they give them back to the owners, and then they can take over from there, to where maybe they couldn't handle the dog at a certain point. You guys step in and get the dog manageable, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Kim has got a fantastic story about a pit bull from Chicago that one of our clients had that very, like it was the last minute before this dog was going to go and be put down and all this stuff. And
yeah, I'd like to hear about that.
I'll let Kim tell that story.
Yeah, so when I first started training dogs on my own in Chicago, I had a client that was referred to me actually from a fellow trainer out in California. She was so desperate, this client was so desperate to help this dog she had rescued because it was showing signs of aggression. It would bark and snarl and lunge at people as they walked by. And of course she lived in an apartment being in Chicago, and so it was a pretty bad situation. So of course I said, come on, I'll evaluate the dog. And when I met the dog, I immediately knew this was not a dog that was truly aggressive. It had learned to be a bully. Literally, it would bark and snarl, and the dog was like, hey, I really like the reaction I get out of people. And so I later had found out that day that my client told me that she literally had an appointment to euthanize the dog the next day.
Oh, my goodness.
It didn't work out with me. Yeah, and gosh, this dog just ended up being the most wonderful dog. She lived to be 15 or 16 years old after that. Once we taught her that barking and snarling at people was not okay, and I trained my client how to kind of manage the situation. We put basic obedience on the dog, and they just lived the most wonderful life together through, again, 15, 16 years. And that dog and my old dog Newman were approximately the same age, and they died within about 6 months of each other.
And Newman was a pit bull too.
Newman was a pit bull, yes. Yeah, he was the man of the house for quite some time.
So we saved that dog's life.
Yes, yeah, it's pretty amazing. A lot of times when we have issues such as aggression, it comes down to the dog not knowing where their boundaries are or what the rules are. And by teaching the dogs just some boundaries, some rules, some skills, and then coaching their owners on how to continue living with those boundaries and rules and skills, the dogs do wonderfully. It's not unlike having children. We need to give our children rules, boundaries, and skills so they grow up to be good adults. And it's the same thing with dogs. And so I think some people just kind of fall short in time, patience, and confidence in doing it.
Well, and knowledge.
The right thing with their dog.
It's about knowledge. I mean, everybody that listens to this show and anybody that knows me knows Big Papa loves dogs, and I love dogs. And I had you guys actually come out to Colorado and work with my little puppy Bella. And one of the most enriching things that we got out of our experience with that is you guys teaching us the things to do for Bella to make sure that she was a good dog when she grew up. Play with her paws, play with her ears. Here's what you have to do. A lot of things that I didn't really know, even though I spent my life around dogs.
Absolutely. We want to condition all the behaviors in our young dogs that we want to see when they're adults. So like you said, things that they will come across through their lifetime, people checking their ears, checking their eyes, checking their teeth, fiddling with their feet, giving them baths, how to greet people, how to not greet people. And
that's another thing that we taught Bella early on is don't jump on people. because she works at the computer
Correct.
store, Action Computers. And, there's a lot of customers there and a lot of strangers, and she will not jump on people.
Absolutely, and that's such a great life skill for the dogs to have, and we just need to show them the proper response and all these different things as they're growing up. And if, again, not unlike children, if we raise our puppies how we want to see them when they're a year, 2, 3, 4 years old, they will grow up to be wonderful dogs, just like our kids will be if we teach them how we want them to be as adults.
Well, I know that the puppy training we did with Bella made her just an absolute joy to be around. She, people, sometimes they come in and they're afraid or whatever. And just the confidence that I have knowing that Bella would never charge at somebody or would ever, we're getting Jeff Myers from Action Computer situated here.
Hey, everybody.
Here, just a second.
Yes, so
Hey, Jeff.
So I love what you say about, comforting people and stuff like that. We actually did a dog not too long ago. We trained
Hey,
a
everybody.
dog named
How y'all
Bella.
doing?
Okay, move your chair back.
Hold on
That
one
was
second, guys.
set
We're
that
just
way
getting
for
this
a
sort of
reason.
situated
gotcha.
here. It's Jeff's first time, and he's
I am
learning
a
how it
first
goes
timer.
there.
Stop touching things.
Okay,
Don't
you
touch
got it.
There's your.
So Kim, one second. This is Daniel here. I've got a little dachshund that I've had from when he was the 8-week-old little puppy, and I think I've spent every moment of his life with him, and it's really really powerful. The interaction and the time and just the being together. You learn so much, and then they learn so much from you just from the time. And I think that's to your point. It is very valuable just to be there, and because we're at the point now we can walk around. We don't need a leash or whatever. He knows to follow me, and I know his cues and everything. And he's 11 or 12, and he's gone through a back surgery, but he's a great little dog. But we put the time in, we really did, and it was a really good result as a result of that. So.
Absolutely. I really try to instill in all my clients that, training dogs is mostly about your clarity of communication and being consistent in what you're asking from the dog. And if you pair those two things, plus a little, a few other things too, but it's just so important. We as long as we set the expectations up for the dogs and we help them understand what we want, it's a winning combination for sure.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take this opportunity. We're going to take a short break with you guys in Texas. If you want to grab a glass of water or go to the bathroom or something, we've got Jeff in the studio. He is going to give us some show specials from Action Computers.
Yep, sure do. So, first one we have is we have a Dell Latitude laptop that we just got in. I don't know how high this needs to be, Daniel, but there we go. I think I can see it. There we go. So, Dell Latitude laptop. Just got a big special on these. These were about $399 before the special. We got them down to $259 now, and these are awesome laptops.
But tell the listeners what the difference is between a Latitude and a Precision, say.
It's the quality, and the Latitude is their business series. It's their high quality, long lasting series. It's something that really is going to go for a while. The nice thing about these is they don't make them, I guess you would say cheap. They make them really good.
The ones that you buy in Walmart or some of the big box stores, they're the cheaper ones, right?
They are the cheaper ones.
These are the commercial grade, the ones that you get from the big companies.
Yep, you're totally right. And what makes these a good value is we get them refurbished, so we're able to buy them cheap, we sell them cheap. But yeah, those Walmart ones they're not very well made. Cheap stuff inside. We've actually seen some that come into the shop that are 6 months old, a year old. I got a buddy who bought one before I met him. We met him last year, and he his was about a year old, and hard drive failed. Didn't detect anymore, and ended up being almost a $300 repair. And
But this is like a
It's not
used
worth it.
BMW or Mercedes versus
Exactly.
a new cheapie or whatever.
exactly what it is. Yeah,
Okay.
higher quality, longer lasting, and great analogy. You're getting the better stuff for the cheaper price.
And so we've got a 259. What do they get with that?
Yep. So for $259, you get the Latitude laptop. I'm trying to get it on the camera here so everybody can see it, but
I think everybody knows what a laptop looks like.
yeah,
I mean, it seems nice.
yeah,
But
there it is.
what are the features? I mean, that's good for doing the internet or Facebook or
it's actually good
listening to a live podcast.
listening to the Mark Hope show.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great for all those things. Personally, I do a lot of Photoshop. I do a lot of video stuff. And I think this one's even good for that stuff. One thing that I really like about it, very small, easy to carry, but you also have a nice backlit keyboard, which, like you were saying, that's not something that you see on the cheap ones. It's a really
Right,
expensive upgrade. So you're sitting on the couch.
So if you're a student or whatever and you're working late,
4 o'clock, the sun
sure.
goes down, 5 o'clock, whatever, and you don't want to get up, it lights up the keyboard for you. And that's really a nice feature. They just have a lot of nice features.
And so how many of these do you have available for the people that want to come in?
I had 40 or 50 beginning of back to school time, and they flew off the shelves because of the price. They were one of our best sellers. We're down to the last 10 or 15, and we have some reserved for the Mark Hope Show listeners, if anybody wants to grab one.
Yeah,
So-
Stephanie is chiming in here in the comments, says her mom currently needs a good desktop. She has a brand new HP laptop from Walmart, and it sucks.
Oh man, yep.
She won't
not
touch it or
surprised.
use it. Do you suggest a laptop versus a desktop?
So, laptops are great for the portability. Desktops are great because you have a place to sit down. You sit down, you use it, you do the things you need to do. So, really,
Well,
either
isn't
one's
a
great
desktop
choice.
really good if you want to have two big monitors too?
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
that's a lot cheaper than it used to be, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I used to pay a lot of money to go dual monitors.
I mean, you got 1,000 22-inch monitors in the other day.
yeah, we got a lot
And
of
half
them.
of your
Yeah.
warehouse is full of these monitors
it's
that are
true.
on sale.
Yep.
How much are the 22-inch flat panel monitors on sale for?
We're doing them $49.99, and I'm selling
$50 for 22-inch monitors.
$50. I'm selling probably 10 to 15 a day or more. I had a business that came in that bought 30 at one time, and
Right.
I mean, they are just flying off the shelves. They're awesome. They're very good.
So I guess to answer Stephanie's question, either.
Either one's
It
great.
depends on what you want.
Really
Now,
depends
you
on your
actually
needs.
brought one of those smaller footprint desktops with us.
I did. Yep.
Why don't you show us that, and then let's talk about how much that is.
There's a desktop. There it is. So
And that really doesn't take up a lot of room.
and yeah, actually, you could hold it with one
What's the
hand.
tag
really
on the
easy.
back of it?
The tag on the back?
Oh, that's the belly tag.
Yeah, that's our information that kind of tells you what's inside. We
That means the
label each one.
technician's completely gone through it. Everything's been
Completely
fixed.
gone through it. Yep, we refurbish them head to toe, check them out. Everything's working well, and we back them up with a warranty too. Everything we sell is warranted, so
Okay.
it's really you can buy with a peace of mind for sure.
Well, Jeff, thanks for coming by. We really appreciate you sponsoring the show.
Absolutely,
Jeff's the
glad to
vice
support
president
it.
over at Action Computers, and he's been there for 16 years.
It's 16 years. I started when I was
young
16.
tyke.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if we have a minute for a story or
Sure, go ahead.
So I actually started when I was 16. Like I said, I lived around the corner from the computer store. I actually started coming in when I was about 9 years old. That's when I had my first computer. And the lady that was working there at the time, I came in and saw her every single year since I was 9 years old. And on my birthday, I came in and said, "Hey, can I work here?" She said, "No, you got to wait till you're 16. Hey, can I work here?" I came in every year until I was 16. And 16 years and, or 15 years and
You
one
just
day.
wore her down.
I said, "Hey, can I work here?" I'm turning 16 tomorrow. She said, "Come on back, and I'll get you an interview." And I met with you, and the rest is history. So
Well,
it's been a
Jeff,
great,
we sure have
been a great
appreciated
journey.
having you for all those years.
For sure.
And the customers can come in and talk directly to you, and you give them advice, and
Yeah.
the really knowledgeable salespeople are there to help them. So
I've been to places where they don't like to talk to you, and we're not one of those. I'll talk to anybody who comes in, and
But you're having this big
love
sale.
working with the customers.
How much is that desktop that you've got?
This one with the solid-state hard drive upgrade, which is the high-speed hard drive. It goes faster. This one goes for $149.99.
Okay. Well, how about I say the first 10 people that come in the store and mention the Mark Hope Show, they get a free 22-inch monitor, keyboard, and mouse with that at that price.
I knew you'd do it. That sounds
that's a deal.
Sounds like a great deal. Yeah, I mean we
So
got
they
some
get
nice
the whole
22s.
thing, $150. All
Yep.
they have to do is mention the show, and there we go.
Easy enough. I love it.
Daniel?
And Stephanie is chiming in on Facebook and asking if you're open on Sundays. She will be up there this Sunday, and she'd love to come see you. So we open on Sundays?
9 to 6 every day. We are open, and you can come see me. I will be there.
Right on. Thank
Well,
you.
Jeff, thanks for coming in. We
Of
really
course,
appreciate
guys.
your time. I know
Pleasure.
you've got small boys at home that you have to go
I do.
tuck in, but thanks for coming by
Got to
the
go
studio.
get them. No
and
problem, guys. Great to be here. We'll see
Really
you next time.
appreciate ya.
For sure, of course.
Do we have our Texas people back?
They said they'll be back in a moment.
Okay.
Okay.
Guys, thanks
we've
for
got
that
them
little
back.
commercial break.
And we're back.
We have to pay the bills. Daniel's expensive.
Very, very expensive.
So, chapter 2. Let's talk about Cheeto and Frito.
Yeah, one thing real quick. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Are we back on?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
we're back on.
All right. I want to continue your commercial a little bit. And I tell you what, I always joke when you guys do your commercials or put something up on the page with Action Computers, and I always put on there that Action Computers is the exclusive computer and computer related the exclusive supplier for Texas K-9 University, and that's the truth. I know when Daniel was there, now with Jeff, and we'd always call Mark and say, hey Mark, what about this? And he'd say, well, call Daniel. Now it's now talk to Jeff. And you guys have been there every step of the way, top notch, everything we needed, talked us through our computer illiteracy, and even remoted in and done things to our computer when we've had problems and this, that, and the other. And it's been fantastic. And, once you find somebody like that, you want to let other people know, hey, you're going to be taken care of by these folks. They are going to sit down. They're going to talk to you. They're going to make you, make it right. Whatever your issue is, they're going to help you understand what the problem is, and they're going to walk you through it and take care of it. And then, always be available when you need it again. So I can't say enough about Action Computers. And, yeah, they're a sponsor. And, yeah, I'm on the show, but it sounds like some kind of cheap deal. But that's sincere. And I really appreciate everything that Daniel has done in the years, and now, through the years, and now Jeff.
Well, we
Thank you.
really
Thank you.
appreciate you saying that too. And it really is, if you treat people right, then you have a relationship with them. And that's why 80% of the customers at Action Computers are repeat customers or customer referrals. And,
Right.
if it wasn't that way, I probably wouldn't work there anymore. So we really appreciate the relationship. And I think it's that way for Texas K-9 University as well, right?
Right, and exactly just like you, it's that Action Computer is a Denver-based or Colorado-based company. Texas K-9 University is based out of Texas, but we're nationwide, just like you are nationwide. I could make phone call and I need this computer and I need something, and so I'm in Texas, you're in Colorado, and I can make it happen. You need something in the dog world, you got a question, you need a dog, you need a referral, you need us to take a look at something, a video you have, or a question, or whatever it is.
And this is not just individuals, correct?
Correct. So I've had a lot of people over the years call and just want advice on search and rescue dogs or police dogs. And I've helped a lot. I hope I've helped a lot of different departments within Illinois start their search and rescue teams, or give them advice on how to get their search and rescue program going, how to start different types of dogs in their programs.
But you guys will
Yeah,
train
we're-
dogs for agencies. I mean, let's say somebody needs police dogs. You guys will train those dogs too, right?
Absolutely.
For an agency can just call up Texas K-9 University, and then you can supply and train all their dogs.
Yeah, we can, and through our network of people, we got. I see Eric Scambro is watching, and a shout out to him and
Van SK9.
Van SK9 out there in Ohio, and we have resources across the country that these guys are top-notch guys that have been in law enforcement, handle dogs, know the ins and outs of this of dealing with agencies and the business end of it. And we have vast resources that we can draw on, such as Eric and Van Ness, and help us along with that. And we're very, I'm going to say, we're not a large agency supplier or anything like that, but a lot of smaller departments in Texas, if they need help starting a canine program, call us. Sit down,
And they might not
talk,
be able to
and
get it started otherwise. They just need 2 dogs, and then their staff needs some training and help, and you guys have all the experience, and not only the cop stuff, but the dog stuff at the same time, right?
Sure, absolutely. We can connect them with somebody can help them out, or if we can't help them out, or we'll get a dog, or we'll have a dog supplied, and then we can do the follow-on training with that handler and that dog to keep that training current and at an optimum level. It's a diminishing skill. You have to keep on that, and the training is paramount.
Right. And if a bunch of agencies call up and they want a bunch of dogs, then you could be kind of shipping some dinner gift certificates over here to the Mark Hope Show, right? Just saying.
Absolutely, we can. No problem. in Bella's name.
In Bella's name, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. So tell me about Cheeto and Frito.
So,
Yeah,
You're wondering how
this
many of these
too.
things I'm going to come up with tonight.
Yeah.
right. So Cheeto and Frito are our Texas Longhorns, and when you live in Texas, you got to have a couple of Longhorn cows, and so last year, well, about 6 or 7 months ago, I came to Pat and I said, hey, I really would like to have a Longhorn. And he's like, why do you want a Longhorn? Well, why not?
Same reason you want 10
Longhorn.
motorcycles. Because.
Well, yeah, I'd like a 67 GTO convertible, but I ended up at the cow auction anyways, and ended up bidding on this cow who was not in the best of shape, and she was pregnant at the time. And I said, oh, that's the one. So we took her and got her healthy, and everything turned out great. And she produced a beautiful baby bull Longhorn. He's just a great looking little guy. And both mama and the baby bull, are doing great. And man, they're just an excellent addition to what we have going on here. And segue right into the dog training.
And that's what I want to hear about this steer.
Yeah, well, Kim can tell you about training the Longhorn, which I always tell her that she can't do it, and that kind of spurs her to do it, which is kind of like our game, but whatever. But the thing is,
but it's amazing. It's amazing.
They have ranches. They have a lot of livestock on their ranches, and they have a dog or whatever, and they want some training or some obedience, and you can't always replicate the livestock that they have on their property. Well, we can do it. We can do that at some point here. We have horses. We have the Longhorns now. We got the cows, and we can use them as distractions and training aids for these dogs that are going to be on these ranches and interact with their people and their livestock.
Yeah, they really are a great training resource for us as well. I mean, everything on the ranch has some type of job, and the cows, Cheeto and Frito, are no different. Like Pat said, we use them a lot for conditioning the dogs around different types of animals. Again, here in Texas, we have lots of ranches with lots of different types of livestock, and while I don't personally train livestock dogs, such as cow herding or sheep herding dogs, a lot of those people who have those type of dogs also have pets. And a lot of those pets, those people don't necessarily have the time to condition their dogs around those type of animals. So they bring the dogs here, and within the basic training that we do with the dogs, we condition them around the dogs, around the horses, around the cats, and teach them that, again, there's rules and boundaries with these different type of animals. And
now, correct me if I say it wrong, but isn't that kind of called distraction training? Where you let something distract them and make sure they keep doing their job they're supposed to do? Like, don't you have a cat there that's designed to try to tease the...
Yeah, so Squirt and Lucky are my little distractor cats for sure. They help me in my training every single day. But it's not only distractor training, but it's teaching the dogs that those animals are no different than anything else in the environment, that they don't need to be reactive towards them or anything like that, that they can just kind of go on with business as usual around these different types of animals. Dogs.
So when the people
haven't
get their
been
dog
exposed-
back, it's used to normal, everyday life things that happen. They won't jerk the leash.
Exactly. And they have to, and it also boosts the dog's confidence to know that it can work around these different type of distractions. So a dog that may have some fear around horses or cattle or anything else, we can help to develop a greater sense of confidence in these dogs that they can overcome these stressors in these different environments and different situations.
So they really face everything when they go to the university. It's like their final exam.
Not only here, but most of the dogs by the second week of their training school, we're taking them out and about to the hardware stores, Lowe's, Depot, Macy's, Tractor Supply. We take them down to downtown Fort Worth. We take them to restaurants with us. We have a lot of clients that like to go out and about with their dogs and take their dogs everywhere. So
Well, I sure
we
do.
incorporate all that type of realistic training into our training programs because that's what's important to our clients.
Well, I got one of the guys listening, Nate Alton. He's a rancher out here in Colorado and a big dog guy. He's giving me a hard time, saying that bulls always make good steers. Because I said something about the cow.
I will discuss that with him later.
But Mike actually has a question for you guys. Mike asks, why are most canine officers either German Shepherds or Belgian Malinois?
Well, yeah, that's a lot. That's a whole other show in and of itself. Basically, what it boils down to simplify things is you want the best tool for the job. You got a screw and you're going to hit it with a hammer. Yeah, you can probably set that screw if you want, but it's better if you use a screwdriver. Correct?
Gotcha.
So the best dogs out there, temperament wise. What am I looking for here? Temperament wise.
I missed the question.
Health wise are your German Shepherd and Malinois. It's just availability, and they're so versatile. The Malinois are just, man, that's like lightning in a bottle. Dogs are amazing. They will do anything they ask. A well-bred dog, anything you ask. No fear. Just fantastic. Quick learning. It's a very, very versatile tool. We have, as trainers, have only begun to understand what their capabilities are. It's just that they're unlimited. And right now that's the trend. They're just the availability of those dogs for those services are just as far as that's the best tool for the job. That's simplify it. That's
would we kind of shy away from having one of those Malinois as a pet, or should we just kind of be careful about that?
So if I can add on to what Pat said about the German Shepherd and the Malinois as far as police dogs go, again, there's both those breeds are very versatile, and so in police work we need our dogs not only to hunt odor for narcotics, explosives, offenders that may have fled on foot or that are in a building, but also do apprehension work, and those two breeds of dogs with a couple other ones such as Dutch Shepherds and whatnot are just those breeds of dogs that have been consistently bred to give us the qualities that we need to, again, do that specific job. And as far as Malinois making good pets, I tend to discourage about 99.9% of people from buying them. Again, I always say they're kind of those more undiluted working type of dog, and most of your Malinois need a job. They need something to do. They need to work in some form or fashion, and so in general they make horrible, awful pets.
Because they can't be at home in a crate all day where everybody's at work and school, and then you end up with a big problem.
Correct. It's like taking the smartest person and making them sit and do nothing all day. They will find creative and typically horrible things to do with their brain and their skills because they're just that type of.
Yeah, that used to happen with Daniel when I was raising him years ago, but we got him on the right track.
Once he pulled me out of the crate all day. That helped a lot.
Yeah, they definitely.
So if the Malinois is not a good pet dog, what is a good pet dog?
It really depends on the individual. When people come to me and they have not yet gotten a dog, but they want advice on what kind of dog they should get, I always start with them making a list. What size of dog do you want? What energy level? What type of coat? What type of look? There are so many important qualities that we need to look for in our dogs, and then we narrow that kind of breed list down.
Right. Also, what's your lifestyle? Are you active? Are you stay at home? Do you have an apartment? Do you have property? Are you in a community where there's a dog park or availability to walk the dog around? That all fits in, and there's a dog out there for you. You just have to narrow it down, and we'll figure it out, and we'll find the best dog. Best dog for you that fits you and your lifestyle.
So the best thing to do is go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was gonna say the best thing to do is they should call you and or get a hold of you somehow and maybe have a little interview and say, look, here's my lifestyle, here's what I've got going on. I want to get something for my kids or something. Maybe we don't have any kids or whatever their situation is. They get a hold of you and then you kind of steer them in the right direction.
Absolutely. We do that a lot for clients that they come to us. Again, they don't have a dog yet, and they say, this is what we're looking for in the dog, our dream dog that we want. And then once we narrow down, do we want to go to a breeder? What kind of breed of dog do we want? Do we want to look at shelters, rescue, or whatnot? My friends used to call me kind of the doggy yunta. So I would kind of have this uncanny ability just to find the dog that fits the person best. We've had many times where we've gone with clients to shelters or rescues and help them pick out the best dog to fit, what they're looking for. Because let's be realistic. Like husbands and wives or relationships, friendships. Not every person jives with other people, and so to find that dog that you jive with that can do everything you want it to do, sometimes it's not the easiest thing in the world. But
sure.
Once we find that right dog for you, it seems to just be the perfect fit. It's just like, wow, this is the perfect dog for me.
Like with Bella, that was a home run with Mark in Luann and Bella. That dog has been fantastic for you guys, and it's super awesome to see you guys, live your lives together and do cool things and
and she raised my little grandson. My little grandson met that dog when he was 2 years old, and now they're best friends. And never a worry or anything about him sleeping with the dog, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Absolutely. She is literally just such an intricate part of your family.
Absolutely. And the best dog I've ever known. And I know I'm prejudiced, but she's my gal for sure. But and just to kind of get back to asking questions, a lot of times the show is only an hour long, and the people that rewatch the show, especially over YouTube and iTunes and the podcast, it keeps going on and on and on and on again on the rewatches. So we always put the links in the show notes to the people and how to get a hold of them, and try to make sure and get the people that need to reach out to you guys for help. We'll have the resources in those show notes. But can you tell us what the website is and a phone number for the university and maybe an email, and just kind of let us know how to get a hold of you guys for the people that are going to be rewatching the show?
absolutely. You can find us on the internet at Texas letter K number 9 University, all spelled out, .com. We're also on Facebook, same thing, Texas, all spelled out, letter K number 9 University. We're on Instagram also at TXK9U.
No, Instagram is Texas K9U.
Okay.
Twitter is at TXK9U. And I just recently started the LinkedIn, and we're working on that because I didn't even know I could do anything like that. Thank you, Mark, for cluing me on that. So we're starting the LinkedIn, so you can find us at Texas K9 University on LinkedIn, and of course on the Facebook.
And I'm actually I'm working with the university on their LinkedIn presence. So if anybody needs to get involved in LinkedIn, that is the very most dominant content marketing space that there is out there right now. And you can watch the Texas K9 University LinkedIn presence grow and sweep through as I work with them. Then if you need any help with that, get a hold of marketinghope.com.
Right, absolutely, and we're kind of learning as we go, and like Daniel likes to say, take one thing, learn a lot about it, use it effectively, become an expert, and then go on to the next thing. So I think that LinkedIn is probably our next thing that we're going to tackle. And
well, I'm going to help you guys with that. We'll definitely be dominant there, for sure.
Yeah, and
looking forward to that.
And people can watch. I post a lot of videos on YouTube as well. So if you want to see kind of the training we do here, the different types of training, whether it's, again, our pet dogs. I compete in a sport called the Protection Sports Association. So I post a lot of videos of us doing that type of work on our YouTube. Our police dogs, our search dogs, everything. We try to post quite a bit and show those videos so people know what we do here.
Right. You might catch a video of Kim training a Cheeto the Longhorn at some point, or
I never got back to talking about that. She actually trained this Longhorn to do tricks like back up and come using the little clicker that she uses in the class. And to me, that is amazing. I mean, if you could teach a cow to do that, you've got to be able to
finding good motivators for the cow. That's the hard part, is finding something that motivates the cow to want to work.
Are there videos of Cheeto and Frito getting trained and doing tricks and whatever?
Yeah. We'll put a video up after the show's over. I want to get me that video of Kim training that cow, that Longhorn cow. Unbelievable.
That's funny. I go, you're crazy, but that's, every time I, tell her she's crazy, she can't do it, she'll do it. And that's kind of the point. I want to see, all right, go ahead and do it. I want to see this.
Well,
it's
pretty cool.
So we had people tell us we couldn't train the bloodhound Lulabelle how to do some obedience skills. And so, I took to teaching her some obedience skills as well. So that's the way to motivate me. Tell me I can't do it.
Well, I just think it's amazing, and I really hope that we'll get to have you guys on the show at another time with a couple of more examples. There's some pictures of some of the things that we've been talking about that you guys are going to upload later on to this thread. Some of the search and rescue things, and
we've got all kinds of good pictures on there. We're looking at a couple right now to upload. We have a dog, that is the name. Her name is Bella also, that we trained as an emotional support dog for.
Yeah, so she's actually a comfort dog.
A comfort dog. Okay.
We one of the police departments the police department I work at here in Texas, Hearst Police Department, we had a really great mental health unit, and the guy who ran it, Ken Bennett, came to me and said, "Hey, I really want to have a comfort dog in the mental health unit. Can we do it?" And I said, "Absolutely." So we ended up pulling Bella out of a shelter here locally in Texas and got her trained up. And she's now an integral part of that mental health unit for Hearst Police Department, Grapevine Police Department, Bedford, and Euless. So she technically works for 4 different police departments right now.
I know I've been talking about a lot of the really special things that you guys do, but I want to kind of come around and round back around to your actual business, the meat and potatoes. You guys actually run boarding and housing and training and all that kind of stuff for just everyone's dogs. So if people want a really
Correct.
good, safe place to, board their dogs, you guys do that at a very high level as well, right?
Right, absolutely, and we encourage people. It's a big thing. People going away, they've never boarded their dog before, they don't know, or they don't know who to trust. Call us, make an appointment, come out to the ranch, take a tour. We'll show you where your dog's going to stay. We'll show you the facilities. It's just Kim and I running it. We don't have a staff. It's not like we don't have.
And that helps keep the prices down too, right?
Yeah, absolutely, and we're very competitive. For I think what you get, I think we're giving it away, but that's just me. But also we give 10% discount to all our military veterans, our police, fire, all our EMS, all our service people, first responders. That's 10% right off the top of everything, and more than welcome.
Well, that's good.
Come on out, check it out. And that's the right thing to do. And we're both. I'm prior military, and we're both retired law enforcement, and that's just we're passing it on.
And I know you guys are very supportive in those communities. There's some other charity things going on down there at the university as well, right?
Yeah, we got big thing coming up.
Can we let that out of the box?
Well, sure, why not? We just filed the federal paperwork and did the paperwork with the state, and that's working its way through right now. The name is called Buddy Up. It's a 501c3, and Buddy Up is not a companion dog, not a service dog, not an emotional support dog. It's a buddy dog. There's a lot of legalities with all those other terms and bringing them on the plane and this, that, the other thing, and this is my support dog, whatever. It's a buddy dog, and the buddy dog is going to be for anybody who is a first responder, military, for them or their families, anybody who's in need of a buddy. All right, there's a lot of folks that are hurting and in need, especially in the first responder, law enforcement, fire, EMS, military community, that they need a buddy. They need a reason. They're hurting. There's a lot of suicides in law enforcement, military. Right. Everybody throws on those numbers, 22 a day. If we can help out one guy, one person, or one family member that may have lost somebody in the line of duty or whatever, or is hurt real bad, to give them that dog, to get them a dog, get them a buddy. It gives them a reason to get up in the morning and to live through that day. The dog's not going to feed itself. You got to let the dog out. If that's what gets you out of bed and makes you live another day to take care of that dog, that's what we want.
That's awesome.
Find a dog, we'll pick you up, and we're going to train that dog, and that's going to be your buddy. The dog is going to love you unconditionally and be by your side. And if that's what it takes to get you through the day, to make you keep on breathing and keep on keeping on until things get you feel things are going to get better. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're
that's awesome.
In the baby infant stages of this right now. But that's what we're looking at.
But that's born out of you guys wanting to reach out into the community and help people.
Correct.
Absolutely, and I'm a firm believer, and if it's within our means to do it, then it's the right thing to do. How can we not do this? First responders and military have a special place in our heart, both coming from those schools, and it's a way of giving back, and we have the means and the opportunity to do it. Then we're going to do it, and we're going to do what we can to help out.
Yeah, I think Pat hit the nail on the head, and him and I have come from the military and law enforcement, first responder backgrounds, and we've both been touched by friends who have died by suicide, or friends and families of those who have been killed in the line of duty that struggle every day to kind of get past that stuff. And again, by having just something a little greater than yourself to get you up every day, to keep putting one foot in front of the other, is just super important, and dogs have just such an amazing way of touching our souls that, we can, if we can give, again, just one person that reason to get up every day and put one foot in front of the other, then, man, we've given back to the universe.
Yeah, and it's a huge thing. All the companies that I own are all big in charities and donating, not only money but actually time. Your resources and actually working with people and it's really important, I think, for a company to give back to the communities that they're in, not only financially but from the heart. And if you can have some of these buddy people come back and train other buddies for other buddies, then we have a big effect on the world, right?
Absolutely, an exponential effect, and
Right.
the world needs more of that.
Right.
For
That's
sure.
what we call a force multiplier right there. And that's it. That's like the grassroots, and you grow it, and then it takes a life of its own, and the impact is better than anything we could ever thought of. But it starts with one, and that's where we're getting to that point right now. We take those baby steps. We start with one, and then boom, we just keep on rolling from there.
Well, back in '93, when we started Action Computers, we started giving computers to underprivileged kids. And our philosophy behind that was to get computers in front of those kids. Maybe they would learn how to steal car stereos, and if they knew how to do coding or whatever. And one of the really cool things that happened out of that program, we've ended up giving 300 computers away to disadvantaged kids every year since then for 25 years. But the offshoot of that was we had a bunch of folks that were in the autism community that actually came down and worked at building the computers that we were giving away. And volunteers were helping them help these other people with the computers. So it turns into a whole huge thing where everybody's helping everybody else.
Right. It's like a bonus byproduct of that, It's like, wow, you never could have imagined. But look where we are now. That's bonus,
I can see these wounded warriors getting in there and helping you guys do the buddy program.
Right. Absolutely. And
I love that.
It's very, very fluid situation right now. It's very flexible, but we definitely have a goal, and how we get there, it doesn't really matter as long as we get there. And any ideas or suggestions, hey man, let's run with it. Let's see what we can do. Let's make an impact. Let's help somebody out.
And you guys will be kind of keeping us up to date on your social media channels as far as what's going on with the buddy program, and if there's any corporate sponsorship people that are watching, they can kind of tune in with you guys, right?
Right, absolutely. Like I said, the paperwork is working through its way that state of Texas right now, and we should hear something back to make sure it's all official, signed, sealed, and delivered pretty soon. Buddy Up is going to be a link off of our Texas Canine University website, and we're going to create that as a link off of there. Of course, we're going to do a Facebook page and all that good stuff that goes along with that when we get up and running and official. And then we're going to have all kind of like giveaways and different things to go ahead and raise money and awareness. And the idea is once we do select an individual or get a dog ready to go, you are going to go with us step by step through that training process, and you're going to hear this story of the individual, of the member or the family member or whoever is in need of this dog, and you're going to see that process from both sides, from that individual and from the dog training side, and you're going to see it all come together, and then you're going to be able to follow that story on and on and on.
I love that. So I love that.
So you're really involved. So you really like tune in next week. Like, what's going to happen now? We got to see how it works.
I love
out.
that.
And that's kind of the idea and the goal for that.
Well, it's a great idea.
Keep an eye out for them. Yeah, the website will eventually. We own the domain already. We don't have the website up, but it is Buddy Up, letter K, number 9. So buddyupk9.org.
That's awesome.
So
maybe we should have some web designer out there donate their time to help us do the website.
Right.
Hint, hint.
That would be.
All of you people.
That'd be awesome.
Hey, everybody's got a guy, right? I got a guy.
Well, I got a bunch of people that owe me stuff, so I'd like to see somebody step up to the plate and help you guys out. So we're coming to the end of the show. I'd loved having you guys on, and I really, really expect to have you guys on the show again. And we can even get into more of the secret stuff that I know about you guys that I'll pop on you without notice on the air. But is there anything else that you guys wanted to say while you're on the show?
No,
just thank you. You've been such a huge supporter of us and such a huge asset to us from all the little things, all the business advice you've given us over the last couple years, from making budgets, getting out of debt, websites,
Well,
computer stuff.
that's a whole nother show, because you guys are a great
Yeah.
example of people who have come from working jobs and having a dream to making it a side gig, making it a side hustle, and then perfecting that, and then turning that into your life's dream job with sweat, blood, tears, saving your money, not buying a brand new car, really, doing everything that you needed to do to be successful. So we should have a whole show based on just that, because I cannot tell you how proud I am of you guys.
That's awesome. And we rocked it. And I tell you, it feels pretty good. And we always, like, once in a while, we'll have we'll raise a glass and we'll toast, like, who's better than us? And
That's
we'll look at each
exactly
other and say,
right.
Nobody's
better than
That's
you
awesome.
guys. And I think
Nobody.
it's stories like you
We
guys
got
that
it.
help the new people out there that are thinking, oh, I'll never be able to do it. I'll never be able to have my dream. I'm going to be stuck in this dead end job that I hate, or that, I don't like anymore, and I can't do what I want to do because I got bills. And you guys are proof every day that if you want it, you can go and get it. And look at you guys now. Who's better than you? No one's better than you guys.
Nobody.
And we owe that a lot to you.
Right. And a 10-year plan turned into, like, oh, wow, we just did that in 4 years. Okay, great. All right, now, all right, what's our next plan? And the 5-year plan, all right, we just did that in a year. All right, now, things happen so quickly. Once you get your ducks in a row, it's amazing. It's mind-boggling how, wow, there's no way we could have imagined that to be where we are right now, even 5 years ago.
Well, you have a solid business based on no debt, and you guys are going to be hard to beat, and having a great time while you're doing it.
We challenge you.
Well, listen, thanks for coming on the show. We really appreciate you guys, and if you don't mind, we're going to sign off of the Facebook Live, but then we're going to call you guys back, and we're going to do some cleanup stuff, some things for the podcast, and we'll just do a short section after that. But we'd like to thank everybody that tuned in for the podcast and the live pre-show and all that stuff for, tuning in and listening to these great folks. And we'll see you next week.